Hello! How is everybody? Welcome back to my Inktober videos. I'm your host, Samia, and it is currently Inktober, day 11, and we are back to making videos of the first couple days. So, uploading a little bit of footage from day 4 and 5, just some process stuff. The first one is a garden witch, and then later you'll see the socialite witch. And I just wanted to upload some of this, A, to talk a little bit about experimentation with inks in these pieces, and B, to talk a little bit about time management and how I am managing to keep up with it. So in this piece, just to get things started, I outlined it with some water-based pens. I used some of my soft brush pens, and I used some water-soluble watercolor markers by Winsor & Newton. That's the red marker that you keep seeing here. And this red marker is really fun because the ink pushes out from where the marker touches the page, and so it creates this really nice washy gradient effect. It's a really nice red that goes from kind of like a bright red to a bit of like a peachy color. It's very warm. And I really just like playing with these markers because it's a good way to like get a big dab of color in there, but then be able to get that washy effect and make it look a little bit softer. And then something unexpected happened with this piece, and I start to use it to my advantage, but on the hat I didn't expect it, which is that the marker I used, the pen I used to outline it, which is a Pilot pocket brush pen, is water soluble, and I didn't know that, hee. So when I tried to go in with some watercolor and some washes, it just started bleeding everywhere, and when I got to the hat, I didn't know this was gonna happen. And then I had to take a step back from it because I was like, oh dear, this is gonna happen on the whole piece. So then I decided to use it to my advantage and started to lay down the black marks very specifically on the page, and then go in with my water brush, that's a little aquash water brush that you see me using occasionally, and blend out the black to get all these nice gray washy areas. The result was kind of like interesting shapes. It's very loose, it's very liquid. I wanted to go for a kind of sheer effect with her shirt, and then she has a more opaque black dress under it. And I was just really playing with like shapes and forms and seeing if I could get some of the wrinkles to look like they're wrapping around the forms correctly. It wasn't 100% successful, but it was actually really fun to just like say, hey, this is what the medium is doing, and go with it. And then I got one of my Prismacolor fine liners, I think in 03, because that's the one I use most, and I started outlining certain areas because once I had all of those washy bleeding effects happening, I needed a way to define the edge, and I wanted it to kind of be a bit bolder. So I just did that and got the pieces good as it was going to get, and then moved on to the socialite witch, who I kept really simple. I decided that I liked her having like this glamorous hat and this sort of like sheer kimono thing falling off her, so I wanted to play more with wrinkles and with forms and make her look really like regal and stiff, I guess, like stiff in a good way, not stiff in a like bad drawing way, although that could have happened by accident because I'm still learning figure drawing. But I liked how she came out. It was really nice just getting to line this and work on line weights a little bit and keep it to black and white mainly. I know some people think that Inktober pieces shouldn't have color, but I really like the color. I think it's interesting to play with it and to play with different colored inks while you're making the black and white line work do most of the work for the form. So I'm going back and forth. I am trying to go like limited palette on a lot of these because I like how that looks. I might go more black and white, like really stark black and white towards the end of the month. We'll see. Anyway, enough of me rambling. About time management. So I didn't finish day 4 until the next day because it was really late at night when I started it, and then the bleed happened, and I decided rather than rushing it, I would leave it to the next day. And so then the next day, I sketched the socialite witch and left inking it for later and figured I'll find some downtime, and then I get to finish one and ink the other. And I kept the socialite witch really simple because I was doing 2 back to back, and I wanted to be caught up before the weekend started and before the end of the week hit because I knew it would get really busy. And I feel like this is a fine way to stay caught up with Inktober. It's knowing when you're going to have a little more time to draw and taking advantage of that, saying I can really sit down and enjoy more than one piece if I do it tomorrow at this time instead of rushing it all today and maybe not liking it at the end of it all. So I'm really glad I made that choice for me. It worked for my busy schedule, and I hope that you all who are keeping up with Inktober, creating daily drawing habits, find things that work for you, because it really makes a difference. Anyway, we're at the end of the video, so if you liked it, please like and subscribe. Please leave comments of your thoughts below, and I'll see you in the next one.